Today we're with Johnny Fumero. Johnny is somebody who has been divorced, has been quite some time, got a child, he's got a new wife, he's got a happy life, but he also has a lot of stuff to share about what happened in his past.
Great data to
So
share.
what was your 6 months like?
So the first 6 months is a doozer. First 6 months is a doozer. You go through a lot of phases, a lot of roller coasters of emotions. Like there is denial, like what this can't be happening. Then there's the anger phase. Why am I going through this? Why is God putting me through this? Or why is a higher power, whatever is up on top of us that's creating our destiny, doing this to me? And then there's the acceptance phase of, okay, is this happening? What do I have to do now? And everybody goes through it. I've been through it at a young age. I've seen people go through it at my age now, which a lot of people are going through it at my age.
How old were you when you went through your divorce?
21 years old. I was very young. I went from 19 to 21, 2 years. So it was a 2-year stint. For me, it might have been a little different since I was so young, because I don't think I was in love. I think I thought I was in love. I went into a relationship, fully committed into the relationship because I had a child coming into this world, and I thought I was in love. I actually went through the motions as if I was in love. So it's pretty much the same shit. Even though I found out later that I may not have been in love, I still went through the motions as I was in love. So I think it's relevant. So I went through all those emotions. I went through the denial of, this can't be happening to me. Why the fuck is this happening to me? And then, okay, so this is happening to me, and now what do I have to do to regain my life? Regain my identity. Because when you get married, you kind of end up sharing an identity with someone else. You merge two identities into one.
Yeah.
With a marriage, like with my wife, we are one person, and I accept that. I accept that I have now split my identity with my wife to where people, hey, is John and Kat coming? It's not like, hey, is John coming to the party? Or, is John coming to dinner? No, it's John and Kat coming to dinner. And if John and Kat don't show up to dinner together, there's a question of like, oh, why isn't John here? Or why isn't Kat here? Is there a problem? And I've learned to share my identity with my wife. My wife has learned to share her identity with me. And we make a team. That obviously, in a marriage is very important. When a divorce happens, that identity breaks up, and that those two people, which I'm experiencing that at the present time with several of my friends that are getting divorced in their 40s. I'm seeing their personalities are coming back out, from that identity merge, their identities are splitting back up, and everybody's coming out of their shells. I want to say it is a sad thing at the beginning. It's a sad thing. The divorce thing at the beginning, it's a rough ride to watch. It was a rough ride to handle at 21. Again, I'm 45 years old now. So, it's been quite a while. I've had time to heal, regenerate my identity to who I was before I was married. And I enjoyed, singlehood for the time that I did, and I remarried. But that is a very rough time that if people don't know about it, of what they're about to encounter, it's a rough ride to go through. It's gonna be a rough ride. It's gonna be a rough roller coaster of emotions that can spiral you either out of control, or it can spiral you to the person that you were supposed to be before you ended up with this person that didn't work out. Or the anchor. Some people consider it, their ex-mate as the anchor that was keeping them from moving forward. Maybe the person that you're divorcing, maybe you were the actual anchor that was holding them back from moving forward. It's, there's all types of roles in a divorce.
Yeah.
But the beginning is tough. The beginning is it's a freak show of what happens now. Like, this wasn't supposed to happen. This wasn't supposed to happen. We're supposed to be married forever. And all of a sudden, this is just, it explodes. And people are like, what the fuck? What do I do?
Tell us how you got to that point where you knew that you were gonna encounter the divorce. Like, what happened? What's the story?
All right. So the story was my wife and I, she got pregnant at the age of 17. I was 18 years old. I thought I was in love with her. And I thought that the right thing to do at the time was to marry her and have a child within wedlock. My father, on the other hand, thought it was a terrible idea. My father told me, dude, this is not the right thing to do. Do not do this. You know, if worst comes to worst, you live with her for some time. You figure out if that's going to work for you. At the ripe age of 18 years old, I thought I was the know-it-all, as we all do at 18 years old. We know it all.
How odd.
That's odd, right?
Yeah.
And I thought I was the know-it-all. I was like, dude, you don't know what you're talking about, bro. I told him I know what I'm doing. That statement has haunted me ever since. I kid you not. Yeah. My father brings up that statement. When I tell him something now, he tells me, do you remember that time you told me? I know what I'm doing. Yeah. Brings it up once a quarter. Comes up.
Yeah.
That I tell him some bullshit. And he's like, you remember I know what I'm doing? Yeah, I know what I'm doing.
Because he could see it from the outside.
He could see it from the outside, yeah.
He knew what was going on.
Third person watching from the inside, from the outside in. And he's like, dude, don't do this. Like, you don't just take advice. I'm like, hey, I know what I'm doing. I went ahead, I got married. We had the baby. It was great, during that time. But as the next couple of years came around, people change. And I grew in one way. She grew in another way. And snap of a finger, I was here and she was there. She was here, I was there, and we were just completely drifting apart. And she ended up being unfaithful to me during that time. She ended up being unfaithful, and I found out that she was cheating on me. I think that was the point in time that whatever's up there told me, this is your chance to exit. This is your exit strategy. And I listened. That was a mark given to me that it was time.
Divorce isn't the end, it's your new beginning. Join Divorce the First 6 Months on Patreon for informative episodes, expert advice, and supportive resources. Visit patreon.com/divorce the first 6. Learn what to expect from the divorce process.